The following is a repeat of News Center 4 update, seen earlier this evening on KRON-TV San Francisco.
Jim Paymar, Emerald Ye, Mark Thompson weather, Tom Nettles sports, Wayne Shannon with commentary. And now, from the West's most honored newsroom, the News Center for Northern California, this is News Center 4 Update.
Good evening. 2 European airports turned into slaughterhouses today when terrorists stormed in and began hurling grenades and firing automatic weapons. In Rome, at least 14 people died, including at least 3 Americans. In Vienna, 3 people were killed. In all, more than 100 were wounded. In both cases, the first target of the terrorists was the counter of Israel's national airline, El Al. After that, the gunmen started randomly firing at anything that moved.
Do I remember seeing myself in a pool of blood? That's all I remember.
Kept going, pop, 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 and you thought, shoot him, kill him. And finally, the shooting stopped, and nobody moved, and then my brother yelled to me and said, Marky, okay? And I said, I've been hitting the leg. How about you? And he said, I've been hitting the head.
Security forces from El Al and the airport immediately fired back at the terrorists. 3 of the gunmen were killed. Passengers cornered a 4th who was wounded. Police had to protect him from the crowd who wanted to lynch him.
All the people were around there. They attacked him. They tried to get terrorists out of the hands of the policemen and, just harm him themselves. They were so much agitated against him.
The 3 known dead Americans are 11-year-old Natasha Simpson, who lived in Rome, 30-year-old Don Malin from Florida, and 20-year-old John Buonocore from Maryland. There could be a 4th American victim, Frederick Gage from Wisconsin. His ID card was found next to a body believed to be his. More than 70 people were wounded in the massacre, including this girl, her father, and 3 sisters.
This guy was shooting, and he shot my dad's leg from his back, and blood came out from there, and my sister's leg opened, and that's all.
In Vienna, it was the same story. 3 terrorists burst into the terminal, aimed at the El Al counter, then sprayed bullets everywhere. Security forces returned the fire, but in this case, the terrorists managed to escape. They commandeered a Mercedes and made it out of Vienna, but a hail of police gunfire stopped them. 1 terrorist was killed. The other 2 were seriously wounded. Back at the airport terminal, 3 people lay dead, more than 40 wounded. Stunned passengers who witnessed the attack scrambled to get on a plane the minute conditions returned to normal. Among them, there were at least 2 San Franciscans, Eleanor Kawala and her daughter. She said she was standing about 10 feet from the El Al counter in Rome. Once the attack began, Kawala says all she could see were flying glass and bodies. Kawala and others arrived in New York this evening from Rome. Here are more eyewitness accounts.
My daughter just threw me on top of someone on the side, and you saw everybody die that was in the lines.
First, I thought it was fireworks, but then the shoots started to get loud and loud, and they were starting shooting. And I didn't look up because I was scared. I was happy to be alive. So a lot of dead people there.
They just started shooting. They didn't care who was there. It was rapid gunfire.
Blood, fear, noise, window shattering. That's it.
Other eyewitnesses said everyone was hysterical during the attack, screaming and clawing to get to their friends and family members. In Israel, the response to today's attack was anger, grief, and promises of retaliation.
Never let terrorist acts go unpunished, and we will choose the time and the place where we will react.
News of the massacre reached President Reagan just before he left for vacation in California. His spokesman, Larry Speaks, condemned the attacks as attacks on all nationalities. He said the bloodbath underscored the need for all countries to band together to fight terrorism. More immediate, direct action against countries that support terrorism was called for by the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Representative Dante Fascell of Florida said those countries should be denied landing rights at international airports. He also said tougher security should be imposed at ticket counters and other public areas at international airports. Now, the terrorists responsible for today's attacks are believed to be members of a rebel faction of the Palestine Liberation Organization. This is the man thought to be their leader. His code name is Abu Nidal. He's a Palestinian with a reputation for cruelty. It's believed his men gunned down Israel's ambassador in London in June of '82. And in April of '83, there was another attack. This time, a Palestinian leader who had advocated peace talks with Israel was murdered in Portugal. And it's said that Nidal's men hijacked that Egyptian plane to Malta last month. They killed 7 passengers before Egyptian commandos stormed the plane. 50 more people died. No matter how hard the Israelis try, retaliation will be difficult. Nidal is a shadowy figure with no known headquarters and a small but very dedicated band of men. In local news, inspectors from the Nuclear Regulatory Commission will visit the troubled Rancho Seco nuclear power plant tomorrow. They're looking into a malfunction that led to a complete shutdown of the plant yesterday. The malfunction flooded the plant's nuclear reactor with coolant, and that violates NRC rules. No one knows when Rancho Seco will be put back into operation, but it will cost Sacramento's utility district $500,000 a day until the plant is restarted. Out of 361 days so far this year, Rancho Seco has been shut down for a total of 242 days. Another accident, Monday's plane crash at Sun Valley Mall, has triggered the first of an expected long line of lawsuits. It was filed on behalf of a Napa woman and her mother. Both women were burned when the plane crashed and showered them with flaming debris. They're suing the mall's owners for building it too close to Concord's Buchanan Field. Also named in the suit were the makers of the plane and the estate of the dead pilot. And the recent crash of a military charter jet in Newfoundland has led to another lawsuit. The family of Antioch Sergeant Stephen Andrioff is suing Aero Air Charters and World Airways for $5 million. Andrioff was among the 248 soldiers killed in the December 12th crash of an Aero Air DC-8. The suit alleges that World Airways mechanics had not properly serviced the plane before it crashed. And attorneys will soon fight it out in court over who will get their hands on some $25 million a year. The money is from the Beryl Buck Trust and is being fought over by Marin County and 17 different organizations. News Center 4's Don Knapp says that there is no shortage of suggestions on ways to divvy up the money.
Many of the proposals that come forward are simply insane.
Seems every nonprofit organization has a settlement proposal as Marin County and the San Francisco Foundation get ready to fight it out in court. At stake is the late Beryl Buck's $400 million gift. Her will said the money was to be used exclusively for Marin's needy. But the San Francisco Foundation, which administers the fund, says there's more money than Marin's needy need. It wants to break the will and spread the wealth.
Somewhat understandably, some other people want to get a piece of the pie.
Proposals to settle out of court irritate Supervisor Gary Giacomini.
It's like a kind of a bad comedy when strangers to the litigation come off the street and say, hey, I got an idea.
The court's decision on whether or not to keep the Buck money in Marin County or to spread it around the Bay Area probably has very little to do with how the people of Marin County feel about that. But they do have feelings, and they've expressed them on these petitions. Some 11,000 signatures. Dry cleaner Adam Morgan collected the signatures.
I read somewhere saying this is a government for the people, by the people, and after all, these are the people of the United States.
Morgan says he can collect 100,000 signatures by February. That may not be as tough as it sounds.
I think it should be kept here in the county. I think there are a lot of uses for it here, and it was designated for the county.
It should stay in Marin County, not because I live here, because that's what she wanted in her will. Why change it?
In Marin County, Don Knapp, News Center 4.
The trial begins February 3rd. It's expected to be one of the most significant will and trust trials ever held in the United States. Trouble for those on both sides of the law in Miami tonight. Coming up, the Miami Vice cops who faced murder charges. When Update continues.
For the best deal ever on a performance car, be at the Cow Palace Car and Truck Sale. From now till December 31st, buy a new Pontiac Fiero, not $10,000 or $12,000, but just $89.95. Or a Firebird T-Top for only $10,490. Laser XT, $1,000 rebates, and the all-new Starion ESI-R. Prices have been slashed on every sporty model here, even 300 ZXs. The Cow Palace Sale. Fiero from $89.95, but only till Tuesday night at the Cow Palace Car and Truck Sale.
Hello, it's me, Cookie Puss, the fresh Carvel ice cream cake. Now they've made me into a doll. And you can get other Carvel Like Hug Me the Bear?
Hi, I'm Hug Me the Bear.
And Cookie Chick? The hippest chick. And Fudgy the Whale.
I'm Fudgy the Whale.
Please go to your participating Carvel dealer and ask to see the dolls. If you'd like to order a set of dolls or Carvel ice cream cakes, call 800-327-GIFT. Thank you.
Federated for Federated, the biggest and best after Christmas sale in the history of mass hysteria. Federated Mad Dash Days. Run, rush, rant, rave on for 10 to 45% off on a giant selection of fun entertainment this weekend. Now, Mad Dash after Christmas madness. Save in every department. Every department saves like never before this weekend during Mad Dash Days at Federated. Never has been a better time to save 10 to 45% off this weekend. Rush for a fevered buying frenzy. Federated after Christmas Mad Dash Days this weekend.
Heroes. Villains. Leaders. The men and women who affect our time. For the first time on television, watch Time Magazine choose the Man of the Year, 1985. Sunday at 7.
Miami authorities arrested 4 men today in connection with recent drug murders, but the suspects aren't drug traffickers. They're cops. Miami's Vice Unit is better known for its battles against the drug underworld. But these detectives allegedly tried to steal up to 400 pounds of cocaine from drug dealers last summer. They're accused of drowning 3 men who were guarding the drugs on this boat. More than a dozen Miami Vice cops have been arrested or suspended this year for drug-related crimes. A loud but peaceful protest today near the Soviet embassy here in San Francisco. Today is the 6th anniversary of the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. Afghani refugees gathered across the street from the embassy, shouting slogans demanding that the Soviets get out of their homeland. No response from inside the embassy. Pictures from the Soviet-backed war in Afghanistan are only now being shown on Russian television. It's the first time in 6 years the Soviets give official commentaries explaining why the war is being fought, but there's no mention of any plans to pull out of Afghanistan. There are plans tonight for President Reagan and Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev to exchange New Year's greetings on January 1st. Their messages will be televised in both countries. Plans for the exchange were apparently worked out by the United States before the Geneva summit. An office party in San Francisco brought an exchange of a different sort tonight. News Center 4's Carl Sonkin reports on a fleet of people rubbing lottery tickets, hoping to bring their ship into port.
$1,000. Three kings.
James Motlow thought he got a big payoff at the biggest lottery ticket rub-off in recent days. Employees of the Blue and Gold Fleet got 1,300 chances to share a fortune at an unusual Christmas party on one of their tour boats.
First and foremost, think big. Yeah. Secondly, try and keep it off the good rug.
Owner Raj Murphy popped for $1,300 worth of lottery tickets, figuring he'd normally spend $20 on each of his 65 employees. This way,
whatever we win, we all win.
They rubbed off lots of $2 and $5 winners, and Murphy went around with a basket collecting them. Did these folk feel foolish on their hands and knees?
Not if we win.
Excitement was high, but the odds weren't with them.
How much have you won?
Probably
close to $20. Out of how many tickets?
50. Oh, by the way, the guy who thought he saw a $1,000 ticket and then couldn't find it, he's the captain of one of these tour boats.
I have one of those jobs where you have to pay attention.
Was it a good example of the lottery odds?
No, with 1,300 tickets, and we win, what, maybe $200?
Oh, they did win 130 free tickets, and out of those, somebody rubbed a $100 winner.
Could be $3 million plus.
But the odds of that are over 6,000 to 1. I'm Carl Sonkin, News Center 4.
In fact, Carl points out that the exact odds of being chosen to spin the big wheel are 6,250 to 1. Well, Pat Finn joins us with the weather, and I guess the odds for good weather this weekend.
Much better than the odds for winning in the lottery, anyway. The odds of getting rid of the fog are about the same, though. I've been doing TV weather now for about 7 years, and people have said I've been in the fog a lot when it comes to the forecast. But I've never had so much fog in my forecast because we're getting record fog. Fresno, 15th day with fog, and that sets an all-time fog, an all-time record, and frogs in the throat, people getting sick at there, too. We're taking a look right now at San Jose Airport. They were closed for a time today. We had to reroute traffic to San Francisco and Oakland, but a clear view of Market Street as we check our current temperatures coming in right now at San Francisco downtown, 41, 38 degrees in Oakland, San Jose at 40 degrees, Santa Rosa 35, Concord 34, Redwood City 40, San Rafael 36 degrees, and at the airport 41. By the way, it dropped to 39 degrees overnight in San Francisco, and that was the coldest overnight low of the season so far, about 3 degrees away from the all-time record for the date. Places down in Florida, at least 7 cities set overnight low records during the night last night, with cold temperatures down there causing some damage to the citrus crops, and the cold weather throughout the eastern part of the United States causing some tragic problems. At least 2 different fires blamed on space heaters killed 5 children in Chicago and in Memphis during the daytime hours today because of the cold weather in through that part of the country. Also another fire in Durham, North Carolina. Little dog, 6 months old, woke up the whole family and got them out from a fire. So good news when it comes to that. Not only is it cold, but lots of snow causing accidents. Chain reaction accidents from Indiana to New York responsible for at least 15 deaths. They'll continue to see snow in Buffalo, could get another foot of it overnight. They already have. 55 inches on the ground from December alone as that storm system moves on through. For us, we've had the high pressure system around here. Fortunately, that high is starting to weaken, and that's going to mean a change in our weather pattern because the jet stream will now allow a storm system to come in for the beginning part of next week, and that could start to clear out the fog. In the meantime, though, very similar type of weather to look forward to this weekend, and that means a lot of fog around. Eureka, 47 for a high tomorrow. Today, they hit 46 for a high, and that was their coldest maximum temperature ever for the state, coldest daytime temperature. Sacramento should get up to 44 degrees. Some of the other temperatures closer to home, we're talking about high temperatures of 52 in San Francisco, Oakland about 50 degrees. In the forecast for us for tonight, some patchy fog and drizzle, an overnight low from 28 to 40. That drizzle will come around daybreak for just a short time. Tomorrow we wake up to some clouds and fog, but then hazy sunshine, high in the 50s. High country, Sierra Nevada, 50s for highs, at least 40s near 50 degrees with sunshine. 5-day forecast talking about that chance of a storm on Tuesday and starting to clear out for Wednesday. By the way, clear weather for the game on Sunday back in the New York area. High temperature about 35 to 40 degrees with partly sunny skies.
Sounds pretty good. Thank you, Pat. Top college basketball squads hit the hardwoods tonight for a Bay Area tradition. Up next, Gary Ranich with a Cable Car Classic highlights and the rest of the sports on this Friday night.
When the clock strikes midnight, Father Time moves on. So it's your last chance for fantastic year-end closeout savings at Fremont Ford. 7.9% financing available. Up to $3,000 guaranteed trade-in on every new Fremont Ford pickup and Bronco. Brand new Escorts, only $99 a month. Rangers, only $129 a month. But time is flying, so hurry before 85 is gone forever. For 7.9%, $3,000 guaranteed trade-in, $99 a month. Right now at California's largest volume Ford truck dealer, Fremont Ford.
How'd you like to go sailing over the clubhouse?
This weekend, Entertainment This Week takes you to the moon with the great one, Jackie Gleason. Next, the silver screen shines with the star of The Color Purple, Whoopi Goldberg. Then,
Hey, Drac, I'm hungry.
Enemy Mine star Dennis Quaid sinks his teeth into a delicious new role.
You're kidding.
Plus, get an eyeful of the hot swimsuit styles burning up Saint-Tropez on the next Entertainment This Week.
Saturday night at 6 on Channel 4. The freeway can only take you so far. I'm Jerry Graham, and I'd like to take you on an unforgettable journey on the Bay Area's back roads this Sunday night at 6 on Channel 4. You'll never know who or what you'll find off the beaten path, like a real-life geyser nestled in Napa Valley, a mind-boggling mystery spot near Santa Cruz, and always wonderful people. Join me on Bay Area Back Roads this Sunday night at 6 p.m. on KRON-TV Channel 4.
This is a game you can learn something from. Watch closely. One of these players is mentally retarded. For years, the Association for Retarded Citizens, the ARC, has been helping thousands of people with mental retardation lead healthy, normal lives, right along with everyone else. That's why when you support the Association for Retarded Citizens, everybody wins. Help build the ARC.
Well, me not really being a sports buff, you would think the Cable Car Classics would be played in San Francisco, but no.
It started out here in the late 60s in San Francisco, Emerald, but wasn't drawing the fans. They moved it down to Santa Clara.
Okay.
That hip
Lesson
you now?
number 1, okay.
Okay, tournament time at Toso Pavilion. Opening night of the Cable Car Classic. Host Santa Clara taking on Northern Arizona. 2-8 record or not, Bronco fans seem ready, as was Steve Kelnevart, the Drake alum, 12 of 13 at the free throw line. He was the story, 26 points in all. Northern Arizona, 72-61. Matt Wilgenbush, the jumper. Tomorrow night, the Broncos will meet tournament favorite Purdue for the title. The Boilermakers work through a Lamar press en route to a 67-56 win. Troy Lewis, 16 points for the Boilermakers. Locally, San Jose State loses in the Indiana Classic. Cal wins at the Dayton Classic. USF routed in the Wyoming Classic. A classic in Wyoming. Okay, coast to coast. The college hoop story tonight, 5th ranked and undefeated Georgetown, taken apart on the road at Texas El Paso, 78-64. Why was that man so glum? Because he coaches Texas, who tonight ran into the Georgia Tech buzzsaw, Long John Sally, 2 of his 17. Tech ranked 7th. Oh, excuse me. Mark Price to Dwayne Farrell, who goes on a jam attack. Georgia Tech has some horses. Farrell, give me one more. Ouch. 90-55, Georgia Tech over Texas. Elsewhere, North Carolina will stay number 1. Georgetown's loss will elevate victorious Kansas in the polls. Oklahoma and Memphis State triumphant. The Tigers defeating Fresno State. Golden State on the road tonight. Forget about it. The Warriors now 1-15 on foreign soil after Seattle's 114-102 victory. Gerald Henderson, 24 points. Xavier McDaniel, 20 and 13 rebounds. They paced the Sonics. Purvis Short led Golden State with 20. The night's most entertaining game unfolded in Landover, Maryland. Atlanta flying high with Dominique Wilkins, who had 35. But moments later, Wilkins gets too greedy. He wants to challenge Washington's 7-7 Manute Bol, who says, keep that junk out of here. From 7-7 to 5-6. Spud Webb is stripped, but he gets it back and lays one in the kisser of 6'10 Dan Roundfield. Back and forth to the wire. Jeff Malone, who led all scores with 31, will bury the eventual winning deuce. Bullets by 2. Also tonight, Portland in overtime a winner, and Cleveland victorious past Detroit. When I say the name Cody Carlson, what comes to mind?
Football.
Tonight, Cody Carlson stood for a victory in the Liberty Bowl. Wayne said nothing. He might be right. Bring up Memphis, Tennessee. It's the Liberty Bowl, Wayne. I'm trying anything to hype this thing. LSU donned in white and gold, though, strikes first. You'll have to wait for Coldy. It's Norman Jefferson, headed for 6. Baylor's punt return coverage totally shredded. Number 12 LSU leads 7-0. But the before-mentioned Carlson tossed a pair of scoring passes. There's a 15-yarder to Simpson. Cody Carlson and Baylor win the Liberty Bowl, 21-7. Mike Ditka in a landslide as the Associated Press NFL Coach of the Year. The Bears boss 66 votes to runner-up Ray Berry's 5. The 49ers departed late this afternoon. Destination New York, and Sunday's NFC wildcard game versus the Giants. Rookie Torrey Nixon, of course, along for the ride, as he will replace injured Eric Wright in the 49ers secondary.
You can't play in fear. You gotta, I think a good one will play just the opposite. We'll go out and challenge them and say, you know, you have to beat me. I'm not going to give it to you. That kind of attitude.
Okay, again, the 49ers Giants on Sunday. And if you picked Dominguez Hills over SF State, you lost tonight. SF State 68, Dominguez Hills 56.
What was Bubba eating tonight?
Bubba, we do not know, but Cody Carlson was a victorious quarterback right here. All right.
That made sense. The burger battles are heating up again. Wayne Shannon has a story of all those herbs who are fighting back.
Just for you tonight, food is not the same without herbs.
Heroes. Villains. Leaders. The men and women who affect our time. For the first time on television, watch Time Magazine choose the Man of the Year, 1985.
Sunday at 7.
Are you the type of person who checks your horoscope every day? On the next Bay City Limits from Emeryville, you'll meet a scientist who's claimed he's proved the predictions of 28 top astrologers are inaccurate.
Best astrologers, most reputable astrologers in the eyes of other astrologers, cannot do what they claim they can do. They cannot get accurate information about a person's personality solely by looking at a natal chart.
You'll also hear from some Bay Area astrologers who strongly believe there's truth in the stars on the next Bay City Limits weekdays at 3.
What is Driving Arboretum?
Means nothing to me.
I have no idea.
Never heard of it.
It's a place where they have different species of flowers and plants and trees where you can come and learn about nature and learn about how things grow and where things grow.
I think the Arboretum is an oasis in the middle of a busy city.
It's just what every city ought to have.
Experience Striving Arboretum in Golden Gate Park.
I would move. Maybe underground would be the best place. Probably be basically flat land with a lot of ruins. Well, they kill a lot of people and a lot of things. All the buildings would crumble down. If there was a nuclear war, it could destroy the world.
To protect them from nuclear war tomorrow, we must understand more about it today. To learn more about the consequences of nuclear war, write Physicians for Social Responsibility.
It could destroy the world.
As you may know, Burger King restaurants are running ads that ask for a fictitious customer named Herb to come in and try the food. But for some people, the ads are getting on their nerves. And just for you tonight, our Wayne Shannon explains. Wayne?
Thank you, Emerald. Now, I suppose you haven't been lucky enough to miss these ads, and I say that because on a clever scale of 1 to 10, we have got to be talking about a 3. This non-existent person named Herb, all of his life, has yet to visit a Burger King, and therefore everyone from Herb's relatives to perfect strangers call him an idiot, essentially, right? $40 million Burger King is spending on that turkey campaign. You know, maybe we got Uncle Sam all wrong. $5,000 ashtrays are looking pretty good all of a sudden. Well, anyway, it turns out a guy in Westfield, North Carolina, amazingly enough named Herbert, or Herb, is getting tired of people who know him or his name giving him a hard time because of these ads. It's difficult to tell how serious this fellow is about all this, but he says he's forming a nationwide club made up of Herbs to protest the ad campaign and even threatens pickets at local Burger King stores. What's it all mean? Well, it means that life is like a fast food hamburger. It's greasy a lot of the time. You're constantly in a pickle. If you can't cut the mustard, you have to ketchup. It always starts out hot and ends up cold, and whoever isn't taking a bite out of you throws your buns in a garbage can. Emerald?
Good one. Thank you, Wayne. We will see you tomorrow. Most of us will be back here tomorrow at 5. See you then. Good night.
18 million trivial years in the making. Now America can finally play the ultimate TV trivia game, Jeopardy!
From Italy, Bertone, the best open sports car for the 80s, says Road and Track magazine. Bertone, power, control, style. The most popular mid-engine car in the world, priced under $10,000. Test drive one now at one of 14 California and Nevada Bertone dealers.
Solomon introduces the programmable boot, now adjustable to fit exactly to your way of skiing. Ski with superior heel hold and more comfort than you've ever experienced before. Ski the 91 Ekeep and ski better than ever before. Solomon, for the competitor in us all.
Ski the best. Ski Squaw Valley and Solomon at prices that made Tri-City the world's largest sporting goods store.
This concludes the broadcast day for KRON-TV, Channel 4, San Francisco. KRON-TV is owned and operated by the Chronicle Broadcasting Company, with studios at Television Center and transmitter atop Mount Sutro. Good night.